Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MSC F1.
Viper Gaming in that group as well. The longest track on the F1 calendar is Spa-Francorchamps, covering just literally 4 meters over 7 kilometers, measured on the centre line of the track, and some famous corners, some famous elevation changes. That run from La Source to the breaking point at the end of the Camel Straight, the chicane of Les Combes, the longest pure acceleration zone in the F1 calendar, with in the dry it being, I believe, almost a 2 kilometre run, a 30-second run from the exit of La Source up to that point. Mirko is going to be the first car to really open up the taps and experience that run now as he rounds the second part of the bus stop chicane, opens up the DRS, heads up toward La Source, and is the first car onto a flying lap of the day. And now on the run down past the point where you saw that famous crash in 1998 at the start of the Belgian Grand Prix, and now up Eau Rouge and Blanchimont. Always the debate on which part of the corner is which. There's no debate about this part of the track, the Camel Straight. Up to 210, 215 miles an hour depending on setup. Hard onto the brakes, Mirko goes through the sector split in a 31-0 before winding his way through the kind of triple chicane of Les Combes and down into Ward Rivage. Difficult, slightly off camber hairpin on braking. Then into turn 9, which for a long time was the famous corner of no name, the only corner on this track without a corner name. That has been changed, I've been told. And now through Pau on turn 10, triple right-hander. Not using all of the track there is Mirko in the number 5 Ferrari. And then he heads into the Fagnes chicane, back out toward campus, around the back of the karting track that lives. Oh, and a little bit sideways coming out of campus before Stavelot. There is Mirko just going through the middle sector split. It's going to really hamper his run now on the run up through Stavelot and up toward Blanchimont, which is just like the start of the lap, completely flat out. Trust the camber, trust the aerodynamics, and then it's hard onto the brakes for the bus stop chicane. Mirko a little bit scrappy at the back half of the lap, but Mirko rounds the final corner now, stays to the left hand side, crosses the line 142.8. What can Paco do as he rounds the final corner up to the line? Paco 42.4 goes to provisional pole. Welsh Sponge crosses the line on a 43.3, goes to P3 now. The McLaren of no correction, Bananarama rounds the final corner and finishes a flying lap, but it's Autron that's the next car to the line. 43.6 for Autron, slowest yet of anyone so far. The Aston Martin of Viper Gaming is the next car on the mini-map, rounding the final corner, exploding up to the line. Viper Gaming 43.4 goes to P4 with that time, as Crytek 45.3 goes to P6. Angry Badger slots in a 44.4, sitting in P6 now. The Haas car of Jake the Lad rounds the final corner to start a flying run, but it's Cam Mackenzie in the Alpine to round the final corner now. Up to the line, Cam Mackenzie 43.4 goes to P5. RGS man sets a new purple lap, a 42.4, just some 0.05 of a second faster than the Mercedes of Paco. The Red Bull of, no, correction, that was the RB of MJ Ryan, goes to P10. Daddy Cool splits the Kick Saubers, and Shane Boland goes for a second flying lap. That 2:07 there, a second exploratory lap. LA starting a flying lap now. Phoenix Grey is the last car to start a flying lap. He's just come out on track. Everyone else is already on one, and Bananarama coming up back toward Blanchimont now is going to be the next car to set his first flying lap time. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2 and Sector 3 down at Rivage and the exit of Stavelot. Bananarama well clear of those yellow flags though. Rounds the second part of the bus stop chicane. You can see just how much camber there is. Bananarama up to the line. 43.8 goes to P8. As the Mercedes of Paco goes again onto a second flying run. Who's going to be the next car to the line? I believe it is going to be Jake the lad, who's going through Blanchimont now at full tilt. LA just coming through Pouon, of course the Belgian driver, looking for a good result here in the orange McLaren as Jake the lad rounds the final part of the bus stop chicane to the line. Jake the lad 42.7, third car into the fourth car into the 42s, I should say, and goes to P3. Beaton and Reese now on track, so the last two cars to set representative lap times are about to start their attempt at one. Shane Boland rounds the final corner now as he comes to the line, of course, to improve on that. 2:07, gets a 1:44.7 in there, just 16 thousandths of a second behind MJ Ryan in the RB, who is going again, is on a set of mediums, so an important note there that RB isn't showing its full pace, as that was the late arrival of Jonathan Coran, JK, to the lobby. Hopefully he'll be able to join us out on track in a couple of moments time. As Phoenix Grey going through turn 9 now on the run back toward Pouon turn 10. You really just see how hard the cars have to work going through those corners. And then in towards the Fania chicane. Paco going even faster. The first car into the 41, into the 1:41s, reclaims that provisional pole of 41.880. The Williams of Beeson just starting a flying lap. Reese, the last car to start a flying lap, as I say that, and JK formally joins the lobby in the second of the two Red Bulls. The first one here, Phoenix Grey, rounding the bus stop chicane now, taking a lot of apex there in the first part, is Phoenix Grey, and now winds that car up for the short sprint to the line. 42.8 goes to P5, just 2 hundredths of a second behind the Ferrari of Mirko. Who else is on a flying run? LA finished his first flying lap in the McLaren, 43.4, 4 thousandths of a second faster than the Aston Martin of Viper, who has just half a tenth of a second on this man here, Cam Mackenzie, who's back out on track for his second flying run. Bananarama has just reported that apparently he's having some PC issues, something to do, I believe, with his frame rate, and he's reporting about a second loss on a flying lap alone. Beaton and Reese now on flying laps. The Williams coming to the end of a flying lap, actually going through now Blanchimont. Then in toward the heavy braking of the bus stop chicane. Cut to the end of the lap, so I'm not entirely sure how it's gone, but it looks like it's been a decent lap so far for Beaton. He's come to the line. It's a 44.4, goes to P14. Jonathan Coran out on track on that lap, as I mentioned. Reese has invalidated his first flying run, so this one will not count. Phoenix Grey still out on track. We'll have a look to see if he heads back to the pits. No, Phoenix Grey, oh, he was going to go back to the pits, got it all crossed up, wanted to go around a second time, but then heads back to the pits at the last minute there. I'm sorry, Phoenix, but I did catch all of that on stream, and I will be reminding you of it consistently throughout the race. Hopefully you don't do that though in the actual race, but oh dear. Cam Mackenzie to the end of the Kemmel Straight, looking to improve and finding 3.5 tenths of a second through the first sector alone. Bear in mind that the first sector is pretty much one hairpin, and then how brave are you feeling? Autron going for a second flying run as he makes his way out of La Source. Reese going for a second attempt at a flying lap. His first lap was a 41.8. That would have seen him right up toward the battle of pole position. But of course it was an invalidated lap. So we don't know whether he decided to cut the bus stop chicane a little bit to save on time. RGS man going for a second flying run, looking to improve on his 42.4 that was good enough for provisional pole position for a while. Until Paco set that 41.8, and Paco is back out on track looking to improve. Welsh Sponge on an invalidated lap at the moment. Cam Mackenzie still with that 3.5 advantage on his previous best through the middle sector, coming to the end of the lap now. This could see him comfortably into P6 this lap as he comes up to the line now. Cam Mackenzie does indeed finish up being P6. Found a little bit more time there in the final sector, improves to a 42.873, some 23 thousandths of a second behind Phoenix Grey. Ortron not improving on his flying lap. Daddy Cool finding 33 thousandths of a second through the first sector. Shane Boland going for a new flying lap, looking to improve on that 44.7. Krytek on a lap, JK on a lap as well, so too Reese on a slow lap as he returns to the pits. Bit of a traffic jam being formed around Stavelot and campus at the moment, and Daddy Cool having to pick his way through it. He's still finding time though as the Mercedes car, picking up a very useful tow there from Paco in the second Mercedes. Paco will be reclaiming that favour on the run up towards Les Combes. I am absolutely sure of it, as Daddy Cool now into the bus stop chicane. The traffic of the Haas of Welsh Sponge getting out the way so that Daddy Cool can floor it to the line. Daddy Cool improves by 0.2 of a second, gets into the 43s and goes up to P12. As through goes the Aston Martin of Viper Gaming, and here we go. Daddy Cool going to slot back into the racing line. Let's watch this in action. The brilliance of the teamwork of the Mercedes team. And now Daddy Cool launching down out of La Source. Paco, the car behind, going to be in the slipstream all the way on the run up the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radion, and then down the Kemmel Straight. Watch Daddy Cool, there he goes. Pull off the racing line. Paco still gaining, still with that little bit of a tow, just to help nudge that top speed. Did it help Paco through the first sector? Let's go and have a look. No, it did not. Paco slower by 55 thousandths of a second through the first sector. But the thought that counts there, Daddy Cool repaying Paco for that slipstream from his previous best personal flying lap. Who was that just crossed the line? It was Shane Boland putting in a 43.5. That sees him onto P10 for the moment. Still some 3.5 minutes left in the session. JK and Reese yet to set a lap time. Angry Badger starting a new flying lap, beaten, about to do the same. Ryan not improving on an invalidated lap so far. Krytek going a little bit slower than his previous personal best. Currently the slowest of anyone, sitting on a 45.0. As we look now to Paco, who found a 1/4 of a second through the middle sector, so Paco could be looking to try and extend his clasp on provisional pole for the moment, but no, decides to bail to the pits. Just under 3 minutes to go. Mercedes team will need to do a bit of a racing pit stop to get that car back out onto track, as we see those that are leaving pit lane going for one more attempt. Cam Mackenzie, Mirko, Viper Gaming on a new flying lap at the moment, or correction, I believe just finished a flying lap that got him up to P7 on that 42.9. Welsh Sponge though is on an outlap. Shane Boland on that slow lap after that 43.5. Ortron about to start a flying lap here with 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. Badger beaten. Ryan and Krytek all on laps at the moment. Krytek was unable to improve after that last run. The two McLarens coming out onto track there. So too is Reese. So it's all go down here in the Ardennes Forest with 2 minutes left on the clock. And still the Mercedes team wheel in to the garage. Paco and Daddy Cool. That's the Red Bull who's just pulled up in front of us of Phoenix Grey. That means that his session is done. Phoenix Grey will not improve on that 42.8, and the best he will start is position number 5. IGS Man starting a new flying lap now, needs to find 0.6 of a second to get out in front of Paco, who's just joined us out on track. He won't really have time to get around here unless he can corner cut his way and save about 5 to 10 seconds of time. IGS Man is going to get a beautiful slipstream though from his pole position rival for the moment down the Kemmel Straight. This is going to work out massively for IGS Man as he comes up to the first sector split. There it is, 0.3 of a second found in the benefit of the Williams. This is going to be that was exactly what he needed by contentiously his own rival. Mirko starting a new flying lap now in the Ferrari. Who too else is on a lap? Cam McKenzie, Viper Gaming. Welsh Sponge starting one, LA soon to start one. Shane Boland is on a flying lap and in finding time through the middle sector. Ortron not on a particularly fast lap at the moment unless he can hook up this final sector. No, Ortron returns to the pits. He is done. Beaton not improving and will not get round to start a new lap, so Beaton's done as well. Daddy Cool's in the pits, Ryan's on a lap, Angry Badger's in the pits, Crytek looking to go once more. He's splitting the two McLarens at the moment. JK starting a flying lap. IGS Man coming to the end of the lap, found 0.7 of a second through the middle sector here. What can IGS Man do as he rounds the bus stop chicane? Where is Paco? There's Paco. Can Paco get back to the line? I don't think he will, because the checkered flag falls in now. Paco does not get to the line. IGS Man claims provisional pole. He finds a second of 41.4. Paco helping IGS Man to pole position and unable to respond in turn as Beaton crosses the line. Who's next to it? It will be the Ferrari of Mirko, who set the original timer for 42.8 and looked solid on it ever since. This is his second flying run to the line. What can Mirko do? Improves by 0.7 of a second. 42.1 claims a spot on the second row of the grid. What can Cam McKenzie do? Cam finding time through the middle sector. Cam McKenzie to the line. 42.5 goes and joins Mirko on the second row. Reese comes in from out of nowhere to go to provisional pole. 41.432. Phoenix, that was Viper Gaming and Welsh Sponge crossing the line, P8 and 9 respectively. Paco dropped to the second row of the grid. Jake the Lad on an invalidated lap, so he is done. What can Ale do in his home qualifying, finding a 1/4 of a second through the middle sector. Now with a couple of corners to go, gets a little bit crossed up through the bus stop chicane. That's going to put him out of line now on the run to the line. Yeah, there you see it. Cam Ale just getting the tank slapper on, and the middle part of the bus stop chicane stops him from completing a flying lap. Jonathan Corin rounds the final corner now to the line. Jonathan Corin goes up to P13 to end the session. IGS Man still officially on a lap as he did cross the line before the checkered flag falls, but his time was beaten in the end by very little by Reese. Dramatic end to qualifying here in the Ardennes Forest. IGS Man thankfully will take the line. Can I just confirm that the stream is working? Bananarama in the Discord channel has just asked if the stream is broken. Oh no. Bananarama just getting me a little bit jumpy. Thank you, Cam, Wes H, Beaton and Sponge for all confirming that with me. I'm just a little bit jumpy. Given obviously you guys know me and some of the technical faults that I've had through the kind of end of last calendar year. Looking for a better year, and you guys definitely helping me every step of the way with that, and thank you for that. MSC, to the entirety of the MSC F1 community. Thank you for helping me. As we wait just to see what the confirmed race start time will be. No sign yet of anything from the steward's room or the announcements. Well, just while we wait to see if we do get a race start time. So just so I can relay it back to you guys on the Twitch chat. Of course, I know most of you are drivers in your own right. Now go on then, drivers. For those of you who are watching who are drivers, what does this kind of little bit here of MSC F1, like the little kind of 3-4 minute breaks in between quali and stream, what does it allow you to do? Where does it allow you to get get yourselves mentally? I'll throw it open to the floor. Please feel free to respond in any manner via the Discord chat or Twitch. Wes H toilet break. You can't be that old, Wes H. I'm sure you don't need a mid-race slash, as it were. No, surely not. I don't believe that for a second. There's admittedly a rather interesting discussion in the Discord channel regarding fuel quantities, and it's Beaton just exactly making that joke. Conversation in the Discord channel is strategy regarding fuel times. Just been told that there's a chance that it will be lights out at 20:33 British time, so just under 2 minutes or so. In fact, just over a minute as I check my own watch. So it'll be at this point. One day I'll do it. One day I'll get myself a stream deck or stream on a PC or whatever. And kind of with a minute to go, I'll create a minute highlight reel of some of my favourite clips from my stream from the years that I stream. I can do some dramatic underscore music and make it a proper. Alternatively, I might just go for the chain, like bring back the old school F1 days on for the Brits among you. The old BBC The old BBC coverage with Murray Walker and Martin Brundle's grid walks. It has just been confirmed that race starts at 33, so in just a couple of moments' time, we will be getting underway. And here we go. Now we're getting ready for the formation lap, and straight away I can see that IGS Man is starting aggressively on a set of the soft compound tyres. Let's have a look. There we go. There are the starting tyres. It's an all soft front row actually. Reese and IGS Man going for the red wall tyres. Split strategy on row 2 and row 3 with Paco and Cam McKenzie looking to go long on a set of mediums. Mirko, Jake the lad going for a set of softs. On row 4, Phoenix Grey and Welsh Sponge both going soft there on their tyre choices. However, row 5, Viper Gaming and LA both gone for a set of mediums. Same two in row 6, Shane Boland and Ortron, and row 7 just following suit there, JK Bananarama. So split strategy, interestingly, at Red Bull versus same strategies for Ferrari, Haas and McLaren. Split strategies too at Williams with Beaton and IGS Man being on different tyres. Daddy Cool makes up the second half of row 8, also gone for a set of mediums with Beaton. MJ Ryan and Angry Badger make up row 9. Both will start on a set of the softer compound tyres, with Crytek, the lone car at the back of the grid on row 10, starting on a set of mediums. So good split there up and down the field, looking like the more aggressive soft compound tyres. 8 of 19 cars starting on. Looks to be an alternate strategy for the moment. Of course, 44 laps make up the racing distance here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. With an estimated race time, I believe it's supposed to say fully dry, so an estimated race time coming in at about 90 minutes, an hour and a half. So strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is going to be a marathon, not a sprint, but it's going to be an absolute cracker. Hopefully plenty of overtakes coming up and down the track, up and down the field. And there we see, right at the end of the formation lap, some possible race strategies brought to you by AWS, the Amazon World Service, just as the cars make their way back around to the grid boxes on the main straight. And we can see that IGS Man is going to be trying to dart away to the inside and attack Reese, who goes long in his grid box, importantly. So look for a start advantage then for IGS Man on the right hand side. Mirko going looking to the outside there of the Williams as they park up. And here we go. We wait for the start light procedure. There they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go in 2025. Bananarama and Daddy Cool straight away, starting with drive-through penalties for jumping the start. Reese going to try and hold off IGS Man, who's going around the outside at the source, unable to do so. So Reese leads us down the hill from IGS Man. Mirko's made up a place on Paco for P3. Jake the lad up to P5. Bananarama with that jump start already up to P6. He's jumped Welsh Sponge. Cam McKenzie, LA. Phoenix Grey's gone backwards at the start. And I say that, and Welsh Sponge has an incident somewhere, and he drops down a few places back to P11. JK's had a flying start. He's already up to P10, up at the front of the field. IGS Man going up the inside into Lecom, gets ahead of Reese. Paco's got Mirko and Jake the lad as Cam McKenzie falls down the field. He's gone wide at Lecom. So too has the kick Sauber of Ortron, who's getting back underway just about. Daddy Cool, Angry Badger falling behind Crytek in the last of the RBs. But they're all safely through, reasonably safely through the start of the lap so far. And I say that and I look and I see the Williams of IGS Man, who's gone out of turn 9 into the barrier, lighting up the rear tyres by the looks of it and taking that nose cone straight off. So Reese Snell leading the way. Ferrari, Mercedes, Ferrari has the top 4. as they make their way through the Fania chicane. Ale and Bananarama are up to P5 and P6. Banana, of course, with that drive through to serve. Wes H, thank you very much in the Twitch chat. Correcting me, I say it's IGS Man, it's not, it's Iceman. Thank you for correcting me on that one. Daddy Cool having an incident somewhere down at Stavolo. Reese, Mirko, Jake the Lad, Ale, Bananarama carries on. Phoenix Grey, Welsh Sponge and JK doing battle, and it looks like Welsh Sponge going to hold off JK at the moment for P8. JK not particularly liking that. Beaton's got the Aston of Viper Gaming trying to have a look up the inside and not gaining anything from it. Paco's retaking the lead from Reese on the run down the hill. So Paco back up. Paco for the first time in the Grand Prix leading the way. But there's going to be a DRS train. Here comes Mirko now. 3 wide almost with the Ferraris flanking the Mercedes, but Reese now going to have to try and dance the long way around the outside at Lecom. He's got the inside for the second part. Jake the Lad's gone around the outside of the second part to take P3 away from Mirko. The top 4 getting right into the thick of it so far, and now down in the hill towards turn 8 and Rivage they come. Nice man. Going into the box, getting back out underway. Daddy Cool also into the box. Both cars having instance early on in the Grand Prix. Reese now trying to break away from the pack, already up to nearly a second clear of Paco at the moment, with Jake the Lad and Mirko very close behind. Iceman retiring from the session. Let's have a look on board with Daddy Cool when we come to the scene of the accident. Looks like that's out of turn 8. Riding on board with Daddy Cool. Let's see if we can see the stricken Williams, and there it is, parked up to the side just by the fire marshal. Not sure what has gone on there. Phoenix Grey's got ahead of the first of the McLarens on the run up from Stavolo to Blanchimont. He's up to P6 now. That was Bananarama that he dispatched. Banana, of course, with that drive-through penalty to serve, and there he goes, Banana into the pits for serving the penalty of jumping the start. Reese sets the purple lap. He's got half a second to the good of Jake the Lad and Mirko. Shane Boland's already picked up a 3-second penalty for track extending. And Bananarama serving the drive-through penalty. Coming out not stone dead last, with Daddy Cool taking the early pit stop and also having a drive-through to serve, but coming out just a couple of seconds off the back of Ortron in P17. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead goes on. Reese and Paco getting very close to each other. You saw the closing speed there of the Mercedes as we cut to the battle, but no move coming for the lead as they make their way down the hill toward turn 8. And we cut to some great action there. Phoenix Grey, Welsh Sponge, wheel to wheel through the long hairpin. Phoenix Grey wins out on that one, and he holds on to P6 for the moment, but he's lost time to the leading quintet of cars, but holds off Welsh Sponge and his teammate for the moment. As we look toward the leading quintet of cars, and Paco and Reese swap positions, coming out for Pooh on a rather unexpected overtaking place, but it's worked out for the Mercedes this time around. Paco back to the lead, 3 laps in of 44, and now through Campus and Stavlo it'll be Reese with the slipstream, and it's Jake the Lad going off the line trying to get a run on the Ferrari power car. And now on the run up toward Blanchimont, it's almost too wide. It's a NASCAR style run as Jake the Lad and Mirko almost wheel to wheel. And now on the run up toward the bus stop chicane, they're all fanning out, trying to find a little bit of space. Paco leads Reese. Jake the Lad's up the inside. Mirko having none of it through the second part of the bus stop chicane. Had the inside line, claimed it, the space, and will jump ahead of the Haas a little bit rudely, but completely fair racing there. Jake the Lad going back up the inside. Paco runs wide at the source, and so still the 4 cars almost constantly side by side. Now on the run down toward Eau Rouge and Blanchimont. And are we going to see cars side by side? Yes, we are, because it's the Haas of Jake the Lad and Mirko going up the hill, and they're side by side, and they came out the other side perfectly clean. And now on the run down the Kemmel Straight, this is where Crofty shouted, and here comes Sebastian Vettel. This time around, Paco leads Reese, leads Jake the Lad. Mirko comes back up the inside. Welsh Sponge has got ahead of Phoenix Grey. There's an 8-car battle for the lead here, and there's nothing separating them from each other. It's absolutely fantastic racing. Ale jumps past just about Jake the Lad up the inside at turn 8. Jake was forced a little bit wide of the last part of Les Combes, has none of it, claims the inside at turn 9 and holds on to P4 for the moment. He will not forget the move that Mirko gave and the cold shoulder that he was given. JK's jumped ahead of Phoenix Grey, so that means that now Phoenix Grey is at the back of this leading train. But here comes now Viper Gaming, Beaton and Cam Mackenzie, so too MJ Ryan on the back of this train. So this is pretty much a 12-car battle for the lead at the moment, with any one incident could spell disaster for the race. Bananarama's caught up to the back of Autron as they come into the Fania chicane on his recovery drive after serving that drive-through penalty for jumping the start. And although I say that, he's forced the Kick Sauber offline now into Campus and Stavelo. Bananarama's going to have an excellent run here on the run through Stavelo on the run up toward Blanchimont. Bananarama gets up to P16 ahead of Autron. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead carries on, and they're making their way down the start-finish straight. Paco 3/10 to the good of Reese. Paco locking up a little bit, taking a slightly wider exit than everyone else through La Source. Seems to work for him though. It's now on the run down to Eau Rouge and Blanchimont. He able to fend off the Ferraris. But now what happens up the hill with DRS? Overtake involved as well. You can see Reese already recharging his battery, looking to the inside, now the outside, trying the old cutback, gets forced a little bit off track there, does Reese in the Ferrari, gives the place back immediately to Paco. That looked a little bit naughty from the Mercedes, but all is well that ends well. Meanwhile, looking through, MJ Ryan just about holding on to the tails of this leading train, still inside that 1 second window, but only just. Autron's picked up another 3-second time penalty. Viper Gaming jumps up ahead of Sump and then loses out to a lot as Welsh Sponge momentarily ghosting, as literally through comes Viper Gaming through the ghosted out Haskar. Mirko's picked up his first time penalty of the day, and it looks like they've all sorted themselves out there in the battle for P8 and 9. Viper Gaming, Welsh Sponge, I say that they've sorted themselves out. Viper Gaming wants to run in P8, and that's Cam Mackenzie that wants to go clean around the outside at Blanchimont of Beaton. Now he's got the run on Welsh Sponge. He's going to have to go the long way round at the bus stop chicane. It's 3 wide as Beaton looks up the inside, thinks better of it and backs out. Cam Mackenzie though gets the move done, I believe, just about on Welsh Sponge. He's up now to P9. Cam Mackenzie looking feisty in that Alpine at the back of this leading train. Now Ryan's trying to have a look at Beaton up the inside into La Source. Nothing coming of it at the moment. Meanwhile, Cam Mackenzie just keeping on to the coattails of Viper Gaming as he looks to try and stay involved really in this battle, the battle for the lead. As down the Kemmel Straight they come. Reese with DRS makes that look very easy indeed, and now Mirko is gaining on the Mercedes. He's looking to the inside. Mirko a little bit too far back at Lecom to have a look for P2, make it a Ferrari 1-2. Beaton and Welsh Sponge swapping positions. That's Welsh Sponge going a little bit off track, and Beaton dances through just about, and he's up to P10 in the Williams. Jonathan Corin slipping away a little bit from the leading 5. 1.1 seconds the gap between the two Red Bulls and the back of the McLaren of LA. I wonder whether we'll see a choreographed overtake from the Milton Keynes team that will just allow Phoenix Grey to close that gap up just a little bit. Meanwhile, the leading 5 make their way through Campus and Stavelo. We're on lap 6 of 44 here at the Belgian Grand Prix. It's been wall-to-wall action so far in this race, with pretty much a 12-car battle for the lead going on. Crytek and Hungry Badger down in P13 are having their own little crack at each other. Shane Boland's getting in on that mix as well. Bananarama some 2.5 seconds off that little battle. Viper Gaming, Phoenix Grey doing battle into the bus stop chicane. They're side by side, and it looks like Phoenix Grey wins out on that one. Reese sets a new purple lap. Shane Boland picks up a 3-second time penalty for track extending. Viper Gaming having a look up the inside of Phoenix Grey at the bus stop chicane. Phoenix now outside of a 1 second window on his teammate, so that 12-car train battling for the lead seems to have separated a little bit And now Phoenix has got a job to do to hold off the feisty Aston and Alpine behind. Meanwhile, up at the front, Paco gaining on Reese, going up the inside, taking the lead. Paco reclaims the lead of the Grand Prix. Cam Mackenzie, Viper Gaming, gets through. Cam Mackenzie up 2 spots there on the Kemmel Straight, but picks up a 3-second time penalty for track extending as he got past Viper Gaming and Phoenix Grey, relegated 2 there. Back down to P9. Welsh Sponge holds off MJ, Ryan and Beaton in the battle for the last point paying position. I mentioned this little battle going on for P13. Angry Badger, Krytek and Shane Bolan. LA with with a 3-second time penalty of his own now. So the penalties beginning to come in a little bit here, thick and fast. Oh, and dear, I was just taking a little bit of a break, and I see that Jonathan Corin has gone straight on and/or spinned at Campus and Stavelo, retires from the session with that wing damage. Not sure what has gone on there. I saw the stationary Red Bull dot, and that spells the end for the second car in today's race. Jonathan Corin retiring from what was a P6, just behind LA in front of Cam Mackenzie. Now we look back toward the battle of the leaders. Paco, Reese, Mirko, Jake the Lad and LA separated by about 1.5 seconds as they make their way down the hill, and there's almost nothing separating Reese and Paco as they come to the top of the hill. Mirko's getting in on the act as well. We could see another 3-way moment on the run down toward the Kemmel Straight. One Ferrari looks to the inside, one to the outside, both back out of a potential move, and Paco locks up a little bit into the Lecombe chicane. Viper Gaming's got ahead of Cam Mackenzie, so Viper now up to P6 in the Aston Martin. Ryan's got in front of Beaton, so he's now up to P9. Welsh Sponge brings up that little tray, the rear of that little train. Angry Badger, Krytek, Shane Bolan, Bananarama. That battle I forecast a little bit ago. Still going on. This is now for P12 with the retirement of JK. And Shane Bolan just about fending off the McLaren of Bananarama, who, just to remind you, is reporting technical difficulties with his PC at this point in time. Meanwhile, up at the front, Mirko dropping away a little bit from Reese and Paco, still very much inside that 1 second window. Yellow flag, sector 3. That is for a slow-moving Haas car of would have been Welsh Sponge, missing a front wing end plate, but gets back to racing speed. I wonder if he'll dive into the pits now on that set of soft compound tyres and fix the new front wing. JK providing an explanation with what has gone on there. Some real life stuff. His kid keeps crying, so retiring from the race. Reese now sitting on the back of Paco as we look back toward the racing action, gaining with the help of DRS, but not gaining enough by the looks of it for a move in toward Lecombe. There is a move happening further back as Cam Mackenzie slipstreams his way past Viper Gaming. Beaton doing the exact same thing to Ryan for P9. And Krytek sitting behind Angry Badger with Shane Bolan and Bananarama right there. Banana still unable to clear the Alpine here, the second of the 2 Alpine cars. Now here we go, much better run, looks to the outside line, can't get it done, under braking. Shane Bolan defending very well there in that Alpine, trying to hold on to that P14. Doesn't matter whether you're at the front of the field or the back, every position matters in racing when your pride is on the line, as Phoenix Grey picks up a 3-second time penalty for track extension. Rather unlike him to have a little wander outside the white line, as Ryan picks up his own penalty now as well, as he's dropped off the back of Beaton in a little bit of no man's land there, but comfortably positioned so. as the leaders make their way through the bus stop chicane once more. This to end lap 9, start lap 10. And it's Paco leading the way from Reese, Mirko, Jake the Lad, Alay, the leading 5. Then there's a little duel happening between Cam Mackenzie and Viper Gaming. Phoenix Grey just sits a little bit behind that. Welsh Sponge is heading to the pits. The first car to pit for new tyres in a scheduled pit stop is the Haas driver. And let's have a look here to see what goes on. It will most likely be a set of medium tyres. Correction, it's a set of hards. No new front wing despite the damage, but Welsh Sponge back out into the race. Carries on there. While we were following Welsh Sponge into the pits, Viper Gaming got back in front of Cam Mackenzie for P6. Shane Boland has jumped in front of Angry Badger, and Bananarama is getting overtaken there by Ortron on the run. Oh, as Bananarama goes straight on at the Lacombe chicane. That very nearly took out Ortron in the back of that. But Bananarama there retiring from the session. Oh dear. Meanwhile, Paco still leading away from Reese. Mirko's dropped off the leading 2 a little bit. Now outside that 1 second window. Under threat now from Jake the Lad and Alay from a DRS attack. As we head through the bus stop chicane with the leaders once more. Quarter of the way through the Grand Prix. And Paco leads the way up from P3. Let's have a look, in fact, at the overall kind of moves up and down the field. Paco up from P3 made a good start, helped by Iceman retiring. Reese not really letting go of the Mercedes car. Mirko made a good jump on whoever was in P3, which right now I forget off the top of my head, to get up into that position and help out his teammate a little bit. Jake the Lad up 2 positions. Alay made a wonderful start and climbed 5 positions. Cam Mackenzie dropped 1. Viper Gaming up 2 from P9. Phoenix Grey's lost 1 down to P8. Beaton, Ryan and Krytek picking up 6, 7, 8 positions respectively. Shane Boland and Ortron dropping 1 apiece. Angry Badger up 4. Welsh Sponge down 7, and Daddy Cool is where he started for the time being. As we follow the leaders through the Fanja chicane. Just a reminder to see what tyres everyone is on. Reese, Mirko, Jake the Lad, Phoenix Grey, MJ Ryan and Angry Badger are all on a set of softs. Everyone else on a set of mediums, with the exception of Welsh Sponge, who is the only car to have stopped in what could be described a planned manner, is on a set of hards. The first time we've seen the hards on track today. And let's have a look at the penalty counts while we're here. 3 apiece pretty much for everyone that has one, with the exception of Shane Boland, who's on 9. 6 for Welsh Sponge, Reese, Jake the Lad, Viper Gaming and Beaton. The only 4 cars left running without picking up a penalty so far in the first quarter of the race. As up the top of the hill we come, and the leaders now 3 seconds clear of Mirko. They've applied the afterburners a little bit. Jake the Lad getting ahead of Mirko. He said that attack might be coming with the help of DRS. I wonder if that's Mirko's tyres beginning to fade a little bit. Cam Mackenzie, Viper Gaming, these two separated by very little and separated by even less there, as Cam Mackenzie, with the unfortunate assistance of Netcode, tags Viper Gaming, spins him round, and that is some great sportsmanship to see there. Cam Mackenzie getting out of the throttle and returning the place. He knows that that was an unfortunate incident. Nothing gained, nothing harmed, nothing lost. Just a little bit of time all round, as Phoenix Greys come under attack here from Beaton. I wonder, those soft compound tyres must be beginning to feel a little bit second hand, as up in the front of the field, Reese has made a mistake somewhere. He's now 1.2 off the back of Paco. Paco on those mediums, Reese on the softs. I get the sense that the softs are beginning to fall off the proverbial cliff. As we see there, yellow flag, and it's another Red Bull down at the Campus and Stavelot complex, and it's Phoenix Grey who finds himself in the gravel, loses out big time to those in front. Paco's unleashing the afterburner, 146.3, fastest lap of anyone, puts a second on Reese in the lap alone, and Paco looking now to check out in front. Mirko, Jake the Lad, Ale still battling on. Viper and Cam Mackenzie, well, those two still going at it. Phoenix Grey into the pits now. I wonder if this will be for a damage replacement or just tyres. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It is a set of... Well, what it is a retirement from Phoenix Grey. That's the second Red Bull out of the Grand Prix. It was going to be a set of medium compound tyres to see the Scotsman through to the end, but whatever went on at Campus and Stavelot, Phoenix Grey having none of it and retiring from the session. Paco extending his lead out to 2.4 already. Mirko's reclaimed P3 from Jake the Lad. Krytek's in front of Shane Boland. He's now up into the points for P10, making it a double points score for RB as it stands. Cam Mackenzie back in front of Viper Gaming. They've now got the Williams of Beaton just behind all three cars on a set of medium tyres. Shane Boland, Krytek, Ortron, Angry Badger, Welsh Sponge battling on as off track and wide there goes Ortron. That allows Angry Badger and Welsh Sponge to get through. And up to the front of the field we look. Is anyone looking to pit lane? No, the leader's carrying on. Daddy Cool picks up another time penalty, 3 seconds. Mirko, Jake the Lad and Ale all carry on. We're on lap 14 of 44 here. Still 31 to go. And only one scheduled pit stop so far. Cam Mackenzie, Viper Gaming beaten. Carry on. MJ Ryan sits there in P9, 7.5 behind those in front, nearly 17 in front of those behind. And I say that MJ Ryan spins it through La Source, gets it pointing back in the right direction again, and will carry on. But losing some more time there is MJ Ryan. He picks up a 3-second time penalty in the same time. Random Polish Dude says hello in the Twitch chat. Hello, Random Polish Dude. Beaton has just got in front of Viper Gaming. That is now for P7. Beaton free to challenge Cam Mackenzie, who is the next car up the road. Battle for P10 carries on. Krytek from Shane Boland. Welsh Sponge, the only car in this quintet to have pitted, as Shane Boland gets in front of the RB and gets up to P10 for the time being. Daddy Cool into the pits for Mercedes off a set of medium tyres. Beaton picks up a 3-second time penalty for track extension, and Paco 3.1 now clear of Reese, who's got 5 seconds now to Mirko, but Jake the Lad and Ale sit right behind the Ferrari, so the battle for the last of the podium paying positions still very much on here as this trio make their way up through Blanchimont and down into the bus stop chicane. Jake the Lad going defending from Ale, but no need there as the leading 5 carry on to lap 15. There in the background you see the trio of Viper Gaming, Beaton and Cam Mackenzie in reverse order. At the back there we've just seen Shane Boland cause a little bit of a yellow flag at the exit of Campus and Stavelot, so that's the third car now caught out down there as Ryan heads to the pits for the RBs off a set of softs. I wonder if this is related to the spin we saw him have a lap ago. Jake the Lad has got in front of Mirko for P3. It's a set of hards onto the RB, and away he goes. Shane Boland also into the pits for Alpine off a set of medium tyres, so a little bit early considering how long the softs have gone, but there is a large section of front wing missing on this Alpine car, so it'll be a set of hards for Shane Bolan. A new front wing, and away he goes back out into the race. Welsh Sponge is now, as Reese DNFs from the race down at Campus and Stavolo. The next car's going through. There you see it, lighting up the rear tyres out of the Fania chicane. Just like we saw, I believe it was Kimi Raikkonen or George Russell do in a very wet race in 2021, I believe. Reese, the closest challenger to Paco, crashing out there in what has to be said a slightly ignominious fashion, as Paco leads us onto lap 16. His gap now from 3 has gone to just under 10 seconds as Jake the Lad and Delay clear Mirko, who's heading to the pits for a set of to get off a set of the soft compound tyres. Cam Mackenzie, Beaton and Viper Gaming all going for an overcut. It's a set of the hard compound tyres for Mirko, and back out onto the track he goes. He'll come out in that P7 position, comfortably ahead of Welsh Sponge, I am imagining. As up now, the battle for P2 is just a direct fight between this man, Ale, and Jake the Lad, who picks up a 3-second time penalty there, does Ale. Another one, Cam Mackenzie still holds off Beaton and Viper Gaming. Welsh Sponge has broken away from Crytek, Ortron and Angry Badger. Ryan, after that pit stop on the new set of hards, looking to close in on that battle. As there is Paco leading the way. Little bit of a lull phase happening here in the Grand Prix after such a dramatic start to the race. Almost 12 cars arguably battling for the lead. It's all just begun to simmer down a little bit. Paco leads us onto lap 17 and laps the first car of the race. Daddy Cool, who has had a bit of a dogged day of it in the Mercedes. Jake the Lad and Ale separated by very little. Cam Mackenzie leads on Beaton and Viper Gaming. Around the bus stop chicane, all 3 cars on a set of medium tyres. Mirko, after that pit stop, off a set of medium tyres. There is Jake the Lad, the only one now in the top 10, still on his starting set of tyres, those set of softs. Angry Badger, the only other car on a set of softs, to start on a set of softs, who is yet to pit. Ale's just jumped Jake the Lad up in the far end of the track, up at the top end of the Kemble Straight, as Viper Gaming has got ahead of Beaton just in the exact same manner. It's just looking through back to this battle for P9 between Crytek and Ortron and Angry Badger, as Ryan, it has to be said now, 3.7 off the back of that battle, gaining some pretty good time on those in front, despite being on those hard compound tyres. Paco now 13 seconds clear. He's just applying the afterburners. He's so comfortable out in front at this stage in a Grand Prix. As he heads in toward the bus stop chicane now, carrying on is his manner. Those set of medium tyres probably will want to go another 4 or 5, maybe 10 laps before you have a look to have a pit stop. Jake the Lad, can he get another 4 laps out of them, get them to half race distance and give those mediums a very comfortable run to the end? As there in the background we see Beaton dive into the pits in the Williams. Cam Mackenzie surprised me a little bit, having dropped Viper and Beaton. 2.5 seconds that gap now. Cam Mackenzie is closing in on Ale and Jake the Lad. The gap was at 6 seconds. It's now down to just under 4. Beaton gets back into the race as Cam Mackenzie picks up a 3-second time penalty on a set of the hard compound tyres and will come out behind Mirko but comfortably in front of Welsh Sponge as he carries on his Grand Prix. Autron has got in front of Crytek for P9. Angry Badger sitting there in P11, eyeing up his chances against the RB in front, but he's got to now watch out for the RB behind because Ryan has rocked up. He's 1.3 off the back of that battle, the battle for the low points paying positions. Iceman in the Twitch chat reckoning that Paco might win, and at this stage of the Grand Prix it is hard to disagree. Iceman, while you're in the Twitch chat, can I ask what happened with you at the start of the race? The first DNF, what went on? What went wrong there in the Williams? As Ale and Jake the Lad up through Blanchimont now. Jake the Lad still on that set of soft compound tyres. Angry Badger picks up a 3-second time penalty for track extending, and now Jake the Lad pulls the trigger, looking for the undercut on Ale. Of course, undercut himself by Mirko, so this will be interesting to see where the Haas comes out in relation to the Ferrari. And Viper Gaming also into the pits off a set of medium tyres. Jake the Lad looks for a set of the hards, and it's a set of hards going on to the Aston of Viper 2. Mirko's rounded the bus stop chicane and gets back out underway. Jake the Lad was tucked up behind Mirko before the pit stops. Mirko pitted about 4 or 5 laps ago, but has a 3.5 second advantage. Iceman applying spun for some reason in a fast corner. An orange wing damage. They didn't fix it in a pit stop, and no point to carry on. Fair enough. Who else is into the pits? Crytek and Angry Badger into the pits. These two were racing each other on track, and now to direct race of the pit crews. Crytek and Angry Badger get back out underway. Set of mediums for Angry Badger, set of hards for Crytek, and it's as they were. These two were racing Shane Boland. Shane wanted the new front wing when he made his pit stop, and so will come out a little further behind than he would have originally thought, but there he is, P13, carrying on as Ryan has got in front of Autron now, and he's clear up to P9. Let's have a look, see how Jake the Lad versus Mirko, that battle goes. Both on a set of hards, but just to remind you, there is the tyre advantage. 3 laps to the favour of Jake the Lad. Now it's a question of how long can the leading 3 go, the 3 that are yet to stop. Can they go long enough to get onto a set of the soft compound tyres? We've seen them do about 20 laps or so, so they need another 5 or 6 out of their set of mediums before a set of the softs looks like a viable option. Everyone has made a pit stop with the exception of the top 3, and Autron there in P10. Autron driving is very much his own race, but doing a good job there for Kick Sauber, up from P12 on the fringes of the points. As now, I say that, and Autron dives into the pits for Kick Sauber. Of course, was directly racing Crytek and Angry Badger a few moments ago, so this will be interesting to see where Autron comes out in relation to those guys. It's a set of hards for the Kick Sauber and a new front wing, so this will be track position lost for Autron to Crytek. Through goes Angry Badger now. Here comes Shane Boland. This could be a little bit tight here on pit exit. Shane Boland versus Autron as they round La Source. There is the Alpine. Where is the Kick Sauber? There's the Kick Sauber. This is going to be a drag race on the run down toward Eau Rouge and Radion. Shane Boland will be picking up DRS on the run up the Kemmel Straight. I'm going to follow this battle as they hit the top of the hill up to 200 miles an hour. The Alpine will get DRS now and will gain and gain and gain, and will get himself out of P13 up to P12. Shane Boland splitting the Kick-Saubers once more, making good use of the DRS down the Kemmel straight. Ale heads to pit lane for McLaren. That just leaves us now with 2 cars yet to make a pit stop. Ale off the set of medium tyres. But this will be interesting to see what he goes on to. It's a set of hard compound tyres. Doesn't feel like the softs could get him to the end. Probably stopped about a lap and a half, 2 laps too early. Shane Boland, after making that move on Autron, retires from the session on the exit of 9. That's where we saw Iceman, I believe it was, have the issue early in the race. So turn number 9 claims its second victim of the day. Paco 22 seconds clear now of everyone else. And the nearest man being this man here, Cam Mackenzie. 11 seconds to the good of Mirko, but of course yet to stop. Will we see someone go long enough? They need another 3 or 4 laps yet to get onto a set of softs, but will we see someone do it? Will we finally see someone go on an alternate strategy, medium to soft instead of medium to hard? As Krytek and Angry Badger now in the battle for P10. Very little separating these two. Kick-Sauber versus RB, just as there has been for so much of this race. These two teams separated by not very much, and now down the Kemmel straight. Angry Badger is gaining on the RB, but is not gaining enough by the looks of it to try and send one up the inside. Jake the Lad, with that tyre advantage, has taken 2.2 seconds out of Mirko in the last few laps. He's now down to 1.2 off the back. And Ale, with those, an extra 2 lap advantage on Jake the Lad. Needs to get them up to temp, of course, but currently sits 3.3 off the Haas there in P5. Cam Mackenzie has lost a second on this lap. Lost about a second, just over a second on that lap. Was 11 seconds clear, now 10. But it's interesting to see that Paco is pretty much lapping the same pace as Mirko, despite being on tyres that he started the race on. That just shows how much pace Paco really has in that Mercedes. He's already lapped one car, his teammate, the Mercedes of Daddy Cool. How many more could he lap by the end of the race is the question. Just flicking through, just trying to see what kind of if there was any visible graining or wear on Paco or Cam Mackenzie's tyres, but both on those quick looks on the onboard looked like they were doing okay. Can't see any kind of like really bad visible marking on the offboards as Paco rounds bus stop chicane once more, takes us over half race distance. We're on lap 23 of 44 here in the Ardennes Forest, and Paco has been leading the way with such authority now for 10 or 15 laps. Definitely the last 20 minutes or so. Cam Mackenzie sitting in P2. The only other car yet to make a pit stop as Daddy Cool retires from the session. We started with 19, we're down to 12. This is turning into a race of attrition. It's Daddy Cool losing one more second on this lap to those that are catching him, but of course he will be looking to go long and get the tyre advantage on all of these drivers. Viper Gaming and Beaten, that was a battle that was going on earlier in the race. Died out over the pit stop window. Nothing has really come of it since. Jake the Lad and Ale not gaining much time on Mirko in front, who's on the older tyres. This battle's going on though. Krytek versus Angry Badger, the battle for P10. Let's see what action these two could bring us for the moment as they make their way around Stavelot up toward Blanchimont. Absolutely flat corner in these modern F1 ground effect cars. Flying up toward now the bus stop chicane. And hard onto the brakes. Looks like Angry Badger there on those medium tyres, slightly more confident on the brakes. Now he's got the help of DRS. and he's gaining a little bit. I wonder if he might try and send it up the inside into Los Horses. He's a little bit too far back on this occasion, but Angry Badger looking a little bit racy behind the RB of Crytek as they make the plunge down from La Source past the GT pit straight. There's Eau Rouge. Here's Radion up the hill. And now here we go. Angry Badger very close to the back of that RB. It's already ahead by the time they hit the DRS activation zone. Angry Badger up to P10 and is going to claim the last of the World Championship points at the moment. Paco carries on for another lap. Lap 24 of 44. How long can those mediums go? Cam Mackenzie carries on as well. I thought he might have just gone into the pits there on the mini-map. But no, indeed, he does decide one more lap. Check the lads still hovering at about 1.2, 1.3 off the back of Mirko. The early gains on those slightly younger hard compound tyres not being reciprocated now. LLA staying again at about that 3.4. Oh, excuse me, about 3.4 off the two in front. Angry Badger and Crytek, these two really are the closest battle on track at the moment. As once more through Campus Stavelo, and now the run up toward Blanchimont. Viper Gaming picking up a penalty count. That leaves us, I believe, now with just Jake the Lad, the only car not to pick up a time penalty at all, and that is Crytek having a look up the inside at the bus stop chicane. That's forced Angry Badger to go deep into the corner. And now, depending on the run that Crytek's got, we could be looking for a move down the pit straight. He's gaining, not quite gaining enough is the RB car. As Welsh Sponge picks up another penalty. Crytek now, it's his turn to do to Angry Badger what was done to him a lap ago. At the top of the hill they come. He'll pick up the DRS. He'll pick up the slipstream. He'll have the advantages in his hand. And Crytek now gaining. Is he going to gain enough? Not quite enough there. I wonder if whether that looked maybe a little bit like Crytek running a slightly higher downforce setup than Angry Badger. And so it just took to the very end of the straight for the true nature of the DRS to show itself. Cam Mackenzie has dived into the pits for Alpine. That just leaves us now with one car yet to make a pit stop as Mirko sets the purple lap of the Grand Prix. Let's have a look. Cam Mackenzie back out onto the track. That is a set of, I can't quite see it, is indeed the set of a soft compound tyres. So Cam Mackenzie now has a massive tyre advantage. He's going to come out right next to Viper Gaming, who he was in a battle with just before the pit stop. So Cam Mackenzie not really losing that much time there from this massive overcut. But what can he do? Can he make up the about 8 seconds to 8 to 10 seconds that separate him from the podium? What do we reckon in the Twitch chat? What do we reckon in the Discord? From those of you watching back wherever you may be. Meanwhile, I'm going to look once more toward the Angry Badger and Crytek battle. The battle for P10. Looks like that is gone to bed for the moment. Angry Badger on those medium compound tyres, just settling in with that little bit of extra grip, and beginning to drop Crytek to claim that World Championship point. We've got the Dutch in the chat saying that Cam Mackenzie will be able to chase down those in front for a chance at the podium, but of course, to use one of Murray Walker's great Murrayisms, to catch is one thing in this sport, to overtake is something very else. But right now, Cam Mackenzie, those tyres are up to temperature, and you can just see that gap was at 2 seconds but a few corners ago. It's already under 1 second. He's in the DRS range already, and this looks like this will only be one-way traffic from here for the Alpine car for a little while yet. Jake the Lad sets a new purple lap of 46.0. As out of the top of the bus stop chicane they come. Cam Mackenzie can't quite see the podium places yet, but I reckon don't give it too long and he'll be staring down the back of the Ferrari that separates him from P2. As Welsh Sponge into the pit for the second time. He was the first car to pit, but this time it is terminal for Haas. Meanwhile, Cam Mackenzie, top of Eau Rouge and Blanchimont. He's got the DRS. He's sweeping to the left-hand side of the track as we look at it on the reverse angle. Cam Mackenzie up to P6, comfortably clear of the Aston on the brakes. And now he can chase down Beaton in the Williams. Needs to make good use of these soft compound tyres, does the Alpine driver. They will degrade faster. He does have the tyre advantage, of course, but they are going to degrade at some point, and it'll be at that point that he begins to lose more time to the hard compound tyre runners. Autron now is left into P11 with the retirement of Welsh Sponge. 1.5 seconds off the points paying positions. All he really has to do is finish, and he'll pick up at least 1 point, I am sure. As Cam Mackenzie now already inside pretty much a car length of Beaton. Just like Viper Gaming, I doubt this will take all that long for BWT Alpine to find its way past the Williams. As in fact we might see a non-DRS overtake. He's looking to the outside. Beaton jumps across to cover the racing line. Completely fair. Action was before the braking zone, and now, but out of the bus stop chicane. Cam Mackenzie 1:45.1, 9/10 of a second faster. He's pulled alongside. He's going up the inside at the La Source hairpin, and it's a drag race down the hill. And I reckon with the extra grip from the soft compound tyres, Cam Mackenzie might just put this one to bed. However, has he made the overtake too soon? What can Beaton do at the top of the hill when he gets the DRS and the slipstream and the overtake? Well, he's going to have to go the long way round, but he's pulled ahead, in fact, already by the time they come to the braking zone, unless Cam can send it from a year back in the braking zone. He cannot quite do it. Beaton holds on to P5 for the time being. Autron's got ahead of Krytek. Cam Mackenzie, though, is going to try and dance around the outside at Rivage at turn 8. Beaton trying to force him out wide. Now Cam's got the inside at 9. Such a fast corner, he can just about push Beaton onto the AstroTurf that separates the track from the gravel. Now Cam at the inside at Pilon. Surely that this is going to swing back toward Beaton. Paco's in the pits. He's decided to call it quits on those medium tyres that he started on. Cam Mackenzie round the outside at Fanny Chicane. Great racing between these two cars. They're still going at it down toward Campus and Stavolo. But Cam Mackenzie now fends off the Williams of Beaton for the moment. Now he's got to drive his heart out on this little run, on the run up toward the bus stop chicane, to get clear of DRS range or DRS threat of Beaton as they come in toward the bus stop chicane now. Beaton having a look toward the inside. Paco, unsurprisingly, reclaims the lead on pit exit, and he will surely drive away into the sunset now. Cam Mackenzie, with the benefit of those soft compound tyres, you can just see 4/10 gained through the bus stop chicane alone. Needs a good exit here out of La Source. Doesn't quite get the perfect exit, but it will be enough, I reckon, to get clear now, and he can set about that 6.3 second gap to LA. Jake the Lad and LA both falling away a bit from Mirko in P2. 2.6 and 4.2 the gaps respectively. Beaton and Viper Gaming were brought together with the addition of Cam Mackenzie, just like they were in the first stint of the Grand Prix, and now these two locked in a titanic battle once more. Not as titanic though as the battle between Autron and Krytek, who are going at it for P10, the last of the World Championship paying points, and Autron is leading this one at the moment, but locks up going into La Source. That's going to give advantage now to Krytek on the run down the hill, but we know that Krytek is running a slightly higher downforce setup than at least Angry Badger. And at the top of the hill now, what can Krytek do in the RB against the Kick Sauber? He's gaining. He's going to come from a long way back. He's looking up the inside on the brakes. Krytek has a go, gets it done because Autron locks up into the Lecom chicane and goes a little deep. Krytek, great manoeuvre there to get back up into P10. Viper Gaming and Beaton still separated by very little, already 2.2 behind Cam Mackenzie, who is 6.1 still behind LA. Paco is on his first flying lap after fitting those soft compound tyres. But I reckon now this battle between P6 and P7 with 15 laps to go could see us comfortably toward the end of the race as they make the plunge down the hill toward Eau Rouge and Blanchimont, one of the most famous corners in all of motorsport. And it looked like Beaton there got a slightly dodgy run, and that's going to hand P6 back to Viper Gaming, who with the help of DRS blast past. So we'll have a look back toward the battle for P10. Crytek leading Autron this time around as LA picks up a 3-second penalty. Let's have a look in fact at the penalty count. It's 3 each for Paco and Mirko as Angry Badger dives to the pits. 9 for LA, 6 for Mackenzie. Cam Mackenzie. Oh, that was very late on the brakes there from Autron. Crytek did very well to avoid a fast arriving Kick Sauber car. Of course, Sauber know about big accidents at La Source. I'm thinking 2018 and Charles Leclerc. Paco 44.6, purple lap of the race. Put it to bed now. Crytek now trying to find his way past the Kick Sauber that very much dive bombed him at La Source. Gets it done into Les Combes as Autron goes straight on, avoids the grass but loses time rejoining the track. Where were we? Looking at penalty count, 3 apiece for Paco and Mirko, none for Jake the Lad. He's still the only penalty-free driver. Alea is on 9, Cam on 6, Viper on 3, Beaton on 3, so that battle is pure and straight for the moment. Ryan's on 6, Crytek's on 3, Autron's on 6, and Angry Badger is on 9. Just a reminder, there are the tyres that everyone is on. Everyone on a set of hards, with the exception of Paco and Cam Mackenzie on softs, and Angry Badger, who's just pitted, who's on mediums, as Ryan into the pits for a second time to retire from the race. That's such a shame. So comfortable sitting in P8 was Ryan. Definitely in a bit of no man's land. But this spells curtains to the RB car. And that leaves us now with 10, so all you have to do is finish the Grand Prix and you will be scoring some championship points, my friends. Right now Cam Mackenzie 4.5 off the back of LA. He's brought it down from 6.2 when he got clear of Beaton and Viper Gaming, who are still battling on. Autron gained 2/10 back so far on Crytek after that incident a moment ago. Paco's gone to a 43.5. He's 18 seconds clear of everyone else now. Storming drive out in front there for the Mercedes car. Viper Gaming currently sitting 3/10 behind Beaton. Autron's just got back inside the 1 second window of Crytek, so we'll see two battles going all the way here. Jake the Lad's gained time on Mirko. That gap now down to 1.3. I wonder whether Mirko's had a bit of an incident or whether Jake the Lad has finished charging up the battery and he's good to unleash hell on the Ferrari in front, and that looks like exactly what he's doing as the gap is hovering at just over a second. Cam Mackenzie now 2.5 off the back of LA. Cam is igniting the Alpine's afterburners, just like the Aston Martin here of Viper Gaming, who has dispatched the Williams of Beaton for P6 for the time being. Looking back at the battle for P8 now, Crytek versus Autron, as Autron, with the benefit of Crytek going a little bit wide at Blanchimont and off track, Autron gets up to P8, but that now means that Crytek will be in the perfect position for a DRS attack. Hit first down this straight, the main straight, and then down the straight from Radion to Les Combes. As we see now, a number of battles just beginning to appear out of nowhere here. Beaton, Viper Gaming, Jake the Lad and Mirko. That battle definitely ignited now. I hope that Mirko doesn't have damage after such a good race that he has driven, as Jake the Lad now sits behind, looks to the inside, backs out of it at the bus stop chicane. Nothing changed in the Autron Crytek battle as they made their way up toward Les Combes. Jake the Lad sits behind Alele Mirko for the moment. Alele has Cam McKenzie now 1.6 behind him, so Cam some 7-8 seconds off this battle that will see him battling for a podium. As Jake the Lad now with DRS half a second behind the Ferrari. Has the customer team would love to show up the works team here, claim a good result, and that would just help Mercedes out in the Constructors' Championship, chase down the 40-point disadvantage that they have. Beaton and Viper Gaming still going at it, the two Mercedes-powered teams going at it in their own right, and it's Beaton who has claimed P6 this time around for the moment. There is Cam McKenzie. We have no, that's not Cam McKenzie. That is the Mercedes of Paco. He's been on his own a fair amount in this race, ever really since the retirement of Reese, some laps ago now. But he's looked so confident. That silver chrome helmet sitting in the silver arrow, leading the way just like he is in the championship. Jake the Lad, Mirko, gap getting a little bit bigger on this occasion. Mirko having a good run through the middle half of the lap. As Cam McKenzie, here we go now, is inside DRS range of his next victim, the McLaren of Alele, who's driven an absolutely storming race, made up plenty of positions at the start and is stuck with the leader's pace as best he can ever since then. Welsh Sponge leaving the session from P12, from a retired P12 I should say, as we follow the battle of McLaren versus Renault, or what used to be Renault Alpine, it is now at the top of the hill. Eau Rouge versus Radeon. Ale going ultra defensive there to the extreme left hand side of the track as we look at it, but Cam McKenzie was too far back pretty much all the time for there ever to be much of a threat. Although with Ale running out wide a little bit from Les Combes, Cam McKenzie darts through 7.3 now to his next target, Jake the Lad, and that time it will be for a podium paying position. Beaton and Viper Gaming still going at it for P6. Beaton leads those two at the moment. Autron's got Crytek still 0.7 of a second behind in that battle, as Angry Badger 12 seconds behind them now on a set of mediums with a broken front wing. Not sure what has gone on there with the Kick Sauber team, but carry on they must. Paco has now lapped Angry Badger. It's the three pairs of battling cars, Mirko, Jake, Cam McKenzie, Ale, Beaton and Viper Gaming make their way through Campus and Stavelot in the run up toward Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane. Mirko, Jake the Lad, the first pair of cars through, and Jake the Lad very slow there at the top of the bus stop chicane, losing a lot of time. Don't know what has gone on there. We saw Mirko get a little bit twitchy. Jake just got completely out of it and has lost 4 seconds of time. And that brings Cam McKenzie right back into play for the podium contention, because it looked like he was just running out a little bit of steam when he was chasing down Ale, but Cam now has definitive visual target on the next car in front of him. As we follow now Beaton and Viper Gaming. Run down the ever long Camel Straight. Viper gaining, having a look up the inside, came from a long way back there, much later on the brakes than the Williams, but no overtake coming. We've got a spinning Autron who was retired from the session now on the exit of Stavelot. That leaves us now with 9, and Crytek, I imagine, should be home free to claim that P8 for RB, the sole remaining RB after the retirement of his teammate MJ Ryan. Jake the lad has surprisingly put 0.2 of a second back on Cam Mackenzie here. The gap has grown to 2.2. Jake the lad still 4 seconds off the back of Mirko though, as they make their way around Stavelot on the run up toward Blanchimont. Just looking through, Paco now lapping Krytek into the Lacombe chicane. He's 28 seconds clear now of the rest of the field. Cam Mackenzie, good final sector for Cam there. Gap back down to 1.8. It was briefly 1.9 it has settled at now. What do you reckon, Dutchy? Can he still do it? Considering that Jake the lad has no penalty and Cam has 6 seconds worth, can Cam still claim a podium spot in that Alpine? He definitely deserves one, it has to be said. As he brings Alele. To be fair to Alele, he's stuck with Cam Mackenzie here. Viper Gaming and Beaton swap positions once more. That is for P6. Alele sticking to Cam Mackenzie well. Constantly inside that 1 second window, that DRS threat. But you just get the sense that Cam Mackenzie knows what he's doing. He's managing that gap. And Alele is trying to linchpin his way back up to Jake the lad. And Mirko. Beaton has reclaimed P6 in front of Viper Gaming. Not sure what has gone on there. I presume an overtake back through the Rivage hairpin. As they make their way up toward the Fagnes chicane. Paco has taken us on to lap 36 of 44 here. The race distance clocking in at over an hour now. Cam Mackenzie still 2 seconds off the back of Jake the lad, but importantly, Jake the lad has found a second on Mirko in the last couple of laps, so Jake the lad closing back in on Mirko and bringing Cam Mackenzie and Alele back toward the Ferrari driver in P2. So this one's not over yet, folks. There's still some positions to be played out. Viper Gaming and Beaton, we know these two have been racing hard at each other for so long now. Krytek and Badger and Angry Badger, that gap was at 12 seconds. It's now down to 5.6. It's the battle to not be last, as well as the battle for P8, and there's huge pride in that no matter which way it goes. They may be a lap down, but it's still good for pride. Beaton and Viper Gaming once more toward Lacombe. Beaton on the inside, backs out of it a little bit in the Williams, forces Viper Gaming though to go a little bit wide, looks for an alternative line, and now on the run down toward Rivage. Is the William close enough to send it up the inside? Not on this occasion. The number 5 Williams just happy to park in behind the Aston. Jake the lad now 2.8, 2.9. Beaton, I say the Williams of Beaton was happy to park in behind Beaton, and I look away for of Viper Gaming, and I look away for them for half a second, and Beaton gets the overtake done. These two now 12 seconds off the back of Alele, as Jake the lad has found half a second on this lap, 2.5 off the back of Mirko. At this rate, this will come right down to the wire between Mirko, Jake, Cam Mackenzie and Alele. Just one good push lap and it can decide absolutely masses here in this Grand Prix. Beaton Viper Gaming, who knew they'd still be going at it down toward the bus stop chicane. Viper sending one on the brakes up the inside. Angry Badger picks up another 3-second penalty. Viper Gaming going to try and hold it around the outside. Now he is the inside toward La Source, but it's too far back on this occasion. Thinks better of it, wants to have the run up the top of the hill. As Cam Mackenzie gains a little bit more time on Jake the lad. The gap at 1.6 now. Beaton at the top of the hill, having to go defensive. Where will he go? He's parked in the middle of the track. He now reclaims the racing line. That gives Viper Gaming the high ground of the inside line, but not quite the confidence on the brakes to truly send it up the inside there. Cam Mackenzie has had an issue somewhere through turn 8 and turn 9. He's lost about half a second to Jake the Lad and Ale. Jake did not have a particularly good first half of the lap in relation to Mirko. I wonder whether Mirko has sensed the danger coming and has just turned the battery up a little bit to help maintain that pace. He knows he has that 3-second penalty. Jake the Lad yet to pick one up, so Mirko needs to find about 0.3 of a second here in the last few laps to come home clean. Cam Mackenzie though has Ale right on his tail. Will need to go defensive here, I would imagine. Just for reference right now, Paco is the only car in Sector 2 and for 32.5 seconds was the only car on lap 38. That is the sheer dominance that he has on the rest of this field. We're down to 9. We did have 19 at the start of the race. Iceman retired very early on due to a spin and a crash out of turn 9. JK retired soon after at Campus and Stavolo when we had a fantastic 12-car battle going on for the lead. It was a 12-car train that one mistake could have seen it flip-flop in either direction. Banana Rama then retired due to technical difficulties outside of the game on his PC. Phoenix Gray, not sure what went on with Phoenix Gray in the end, but he retired. So too then Reese. We were left with 14 for a while before Shane Bolan had a spin and an off and called it quits. Danny Cool retired after going a lap down to his teammate Paco, who has just started lap 39. Welsh Sponge then was the next to go. Then Ryan. That left us with 10. And then Ortron retired not that long ago to leave us with the last 9. And Angry Badger is in that P9 spot, but he's inside a second of Crytek. So we could see one more twist in that particular tail. Cam Mackenzie hemorrhaging time now to Jake the Lad. Those soft compound tyres have died off. He's just given the place back up to Ale. But we know Cam Mackenzie is a crafty old fox. He knows his racecraft well enough to know that he now has a very good run on the McLaren up at the top of the hill. If his tyres can give him a good enough drive out of this corner, I imagine those soft compound tyres beginning to feel a little bit second hand now for Cam Mackenzie. Started in P5, remained in P5, but is on 15 lap old soft compound tyres. So I just quickly look through the various information displays, and there you see Paco on 3, Mirko now has 6, Jake the Lad is on 0, Ale 9, Cam Mackenzie 6, Viper Gaming 6, Beaton 3, Crytek 3, Angry Badger 12. So all is not yet lost for you Cam Mackenzie fans. He has a 3-second advantage to Ale. But it's just picked up a 3-second time penalty, which means now that you can wave goodbye to his chances of a podium. He now needs to get past Ale on merit for P4. Jake the Lad comfortably inside Mirko's penalty count back range now, so you'd imagine, assuming all goes well in the last 5, as Angry Badger and Crytek bring some life to the back of the field, and Angry Badger makes an overtake on the RB. Kicksauber versus RB, that's been a pretty consistent battle throughout this race, and Angry Badger claims the upper hand for the time being. Although Crytek with a glorious run at the top of the hill, he's got the DRS. Now, has he got the drive and the straight line speed to get past the Kicksauber? Yes, he does. Crytek back up into P8. Ale leads on from Cam Mackenzie. They're 2 seconds off the back of Jake the Lad, who's 2.5 off the back of Mirko. So that gap has stayed pretty consistent in the last few laps. Cam Mackenzie 0.3 behind the McLaren, gaining. There is the power of the DRS and the benefit of overtake versus turning your battery off in a straight line. Cam Mackenzie back up into P4, and this pair, it has to be said, gaining some time back on Jake the Lad here, as Beaton gets ahead of Viper Gaming once more. These two battling away for P6 have been in a duel for about 25 laps now. What else is going on through the field? Cam Mackenzie, LA, we know this one's going on. Krytek and Angry Badger. That leaves us with 3 battles up and down the field at the moment. Jake the Lad gaining a couple of tenths of a second on Mirko, but not really enough that would worry the Ferrari driver in terms of track position. Of course, the Ferrari driver has 6 seconds worth of time penalties to serve for track extension, so he will drop behind Jake the Lad, assuming they cross the line as it finishes. LA versus Cam Mackenzie still doing battle, and on this occasion LA has claimed P4 back from Cam Mackenzie, though now this hands Cam Mackenzie the DRS once more. Out of La Source they come. Down the hill they plunge, under the awning, up to Eau Rouge. And here is Radion. Viper Gaming is headed to the pit lane. That's such a shame. He was having such a great battle with Beeson. It comes to an end, but it is a set of softs. So the number 69 Aston Martin, I had to draw attention to it once, going for a fastest lap attempt with the dying moments of the race. Cam Mackenzie was able to get his way past LA on the Kemmel straight. He's back up into P4. Jake the Lad now inside 2 seconds for the first time in a while of Mirko. Paco is at the bus stop chicane. He's rounding it for the 42nd time. And there we go. 3 to go for the Mercedes car. He could make a pit stop on this lap, put on a set of soft compound tyres. I don't know if he'll know that Viper Gaming has boxed to try and take the fastest lap away from him, but I get the sense Paco doesn't really care. He's so confident in that Mercedes. Krytek's just picked up another 3-second time penalty. I fear that may drop him. No, he should still get back in front of Cry Badger once penalty countback is completed. Just a reminder that the battle between Cam Mackenzie and LA both have 9 seconds of track extension penalties, so this is purely legit, purely for position. Pretty much every other battle on track, it has to be said, is for pride. Although I say that, Beaton comes into the pits, and does that mean that we will have one more bout of the Beaton Viper Gaming battle? I think it does. Beaton does have a 3-second advantage due to lack of penalties to Viper Gaming, but Viper Gaming has just committed the undercut on a set of new compound softs, and he starts his own lap 42, and there is Beaton, and to start his flying lap his fastest lap attempt, Viper Gaming will be the beneficiary of some DRS at the top of this hill, at the top of Eau Rouge and Radion. There it is now, Viper Gaming with the help of DRS straight past the Williams of Beaton. Cam Mackenzie still just about holding off LA. Jake the Lad has got inside 1 second of Mirko, as Beaton picks up another 3-second penalty, which now means that that battle is purely legit for position. Viper Gaming versus Beaton. Angry Badger has picked up another 3-second time penalty. Paco's got 2 to go, including this one. Jake the Lad, as I say, inside half a second now of Mirko. Cam Mackenzie versus LA. This is legit. Viper Gaming versus Beaton. That's legit. Two pairs of drivers that have been battling for a good while now. LA, after getting overtaken by Cam Mackenzie, didn't let the Alpine drive away from him. and that could pay dividends at the end here. Jake the Lad setting up Mirko now in the Ferrari at the top of the hill. Here we go. This should surely be nice and simple for the Haskar with the help of DRS. All he's got to do is pick his decision, pick his time. There he goes. Jake the Lad up into P2, and I say that and there's contact and they're both off into the wall at Les Combes. Viper Gaming picks up the fastest lap of the race. Jake the Lad came back across Mirko there a little too early, and across the nose he went, and they both went into the wall. Cam Mackenzie and Ale make their way past now. So they're up into P3 and P4 on track. Beaton's got ahead of Viper Gaming. Now it's his turn to try and take the fastest lap back away from Viper Gaming. Cam Mackenzie is in the bus stop chicane for the penultimate time. He's got 1 lap to go. He doesn't know about the drama that's going on. Some 40-something seconds behind him as he starts lap 44. But Mirko now 1 second to the good of Cam Mackenzie and Ale. He doesn't want to get caught out in that battle, but he doesn't have much of a front wing left. So what does that mean to those behind? Because here comes Cam Mackenzie and Ale and Jake the Lad. I feared it might be a bit of a tame end to the race that promised so much in the beginning, but it's come alive with one incident on the penultimate lap. This is just like 2008 when Lewis Hamilton cut the bus stop chicane in the rain to overtake Kimi Räikkönen, and that would eventually see him receive a 20-second time penalty for not handing the place back properly on this very straight here. But now Mirko, Cam Mackenzie, Ale, Jake the Lad separated by less than a second. Mirko has much damage to his front wing, needs to stay inside 3 seconds of Cam Mackenzie and Ale should they overtake him, which I fear they will, on the run up the straight now at the top of this hill. How slow is Mirko going to be with that lack of downforce? You can see it, Cam Mackenzie, how much more speed he's able to carry with the full downforce. And here we go now. Here goes 1, here goes 2. Mirko trying to cover off Ale, minimise his damage, but no, Ale will get past as well. And now, can these two cars, can they put 3 seconds on Mirko to claim a podium? There is the penalty count. 3 seconds is the target to find for Cam Mackenzie or Ale. And reminder, that battle, Cam Mackenzie Ale, is for 100% track position. Mirko versus Jake the Lad. Jake the Lad has no penalties. Mirko has 6 seconds worth. Jake the Lad's getting held up through Pouhon. That's got to be so infuriating for the Haskar. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that is for Paco doing donuts out in front of the grandstand. He has won the race comfortably. All he needs to do is decide when to finish it. Cam Mackenzie, Ale through Campus and Stavolo, they come separated by a quarter of a second. They're 2.6 to the good of Mirko. Jake the Lad's fallen away. They need to find a couple of tenths of a second as Cam Mackenzie to steal a podium from the jaws of defeat here. Paco's crossed the line. Angry Badger's crossed the line. Krytek's crossed the line. Krytek does indeed pick up 8 seconds thanks to penalty countback. Cam Mackenzie rounds the final corner now and comes to the line. Cam Mackenzie will finish P2. Ale will finish P3. Mirko will finish behind them on penalty countback. Jake the Lad will claim all 3 spots for not having a penalty. Cam Mackenzie therefore comes home P3. Fantastic drama at the end of the race. As I said, I feared it might have finished a little bit dully, but no. Beaton and Viper Gaming, I don't think Beaton claimed the fastest lap, so it goes to Viper Gaming. High drama at the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. The Dutchie did indeed call it. He calls a podium for Cam. Helped out rather a lot by the collision at the top of the hill at Les Combes. I will wonder how the stewards elect to see that, whether they choose to give a penalty to Jake the Lad for moving under braking and causing a collision, as we see a podium celebration there. And let's have a look. So I'm getting told here, Cheeky of Viper broke to stop Beaton getting DRS. Mind games being played there. Well, folks, there we go. That's been a 100% race around Spa-Francorchamps. You can probably hear it that my voice is going a little bit. Beaten, unable to claim the fastest lap by 5/100ths of a second. My driver of the day, because of course MSC F1 dictates that I give a driver of the day. I think it's got to go to Cam Mackenzie. He drove the alternate strategy brilliantly, and could very well be in for a P2 spot depending on what the stewards rule, but did claim a podium there right at the end. But shout outs to LA and Beaten and Viper Gaming for some great battling, and LA Cam Mackenzie for the exact same reason. But a massive shout out to Paco. Domination from start to finish. Folks, I've been Sharp. I will be back again tomorrow, 8 p.m. BST, to do the club sport division, where it will be the same format, 18 minutes quali, 44 laps, 100% race. Hopefully my voice will have recovered by then, folks. But for now, I've been Sharp. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed my first stream of 2025, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. But for now, good night and